This is Maxine Pascual for local news. It has been 1 week since Typhoon Bruno left the Philippine area of responsibility. While far from being the strongest typhoon in the country's history, Bruno broke all Metro Manila and Philippine records in terms of rainfall.
How much rainwater did Bruno bring to Metro Manila's population of 12 million and to many other provinces of this 100 million person country? On average, the entire month of August, the rainiest among the year's 12 months, experiences about 474 millimeters of rainfall. That's about 21 millimeters a day over 22 days. From August 6 to 7, 2012, Habagat brought 687 millimeters of rainfall over a 2-day period. That's about 344 millimeters per day. Even wetter was Typhoon Ondoy, which, on September 26, 2009, dumped 455 millimeters on the metropolis in 24 hours. Last week's Typhoon Bruno surpassed Habagat and Ondoy by dumping 1,800 millimeters of rainwater in just one day. Since mankind began measuring rainfall, Bruno has only been exceeded once. From January 7 to 8, 1966, the tiny island of La Reunion in the Indian Ocean experienced 1,870 millimeters of rainfall over a 24-hour period. Normally, a weather event such as Typhoon Bruno would result in nationwide devastation and a declaration of a state of calamity. Along with such a declaration would be pleas for and offers of aid from the international donor community. My crew and I were prepared to cover evacuation centers full of people trying to stay dry, account for missing loved ones, and receive donations of basic goods such as blankets, milk, and instant noodles. Given the Philippines' location in the Pacific Ring of Fire, which makes it prone to typhoons and earthquakes, as well as the state of its infrastructure, which is still in the process of being upgraded and rehabilitated, we expected to cover the unfortunate but not unusual losses of a worse-than-usual typhoon season.
Instead, miraculously, we find ourselves covering a metropolitan city that is dry and seemingly unaffected by Typhoon Bruno. Our coverage of areas of worship shows people praying in gratitude rather than for redemption and for meaning amidst the loss of lives and property. Our story today, how the Philippines stayed dry for a change. Before we investigate how the Philippines stayed dry throughout Typhoon Bruno, we must first ask the question, why does the Philippines always get wet? With us today is Joseph Severino, Head of Risk Engineering Group of Standard Insurance. Joey, could you please describe to us why flooding seems more and more common these days?
Firstly, the Philippines is a very disaster-prone country relative to its neighbors. There are 3 kinds of major disasters. You have geophysical disasters, which are seismic events such as earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. Then you also have hydrological disasters, which are flooding events where water inundates areas that are normally dry. And also, you have meteorological disasters, which are extreme weather events which compose of rain, wind, extreme heat, or extreme cold. Due to its location in the Pacific Ring of Fire, the Philippines is exposed to more of these disasters than most countries. Secondly, the Philippines is affected by climate change. As carbon dioxide concentrations increase, global temperatures also increase due to the global greenhouse effect. The Philippines is already experiencing stronger and more unpredictable typhoons and rains. It is also experiencing rising sea levels. Until global warming can be addressed, the Philippines will experience more frequent weather disturbances. Now, thirdly, the Philippines' metropolitan areas have become increasingly flood-prone. Metro Manila, for example, is overbuilt with man-made structures. It has insufficient drainage and green areas that channel and absorb rainwater. Furthermore, Metro Manila is sinking because of groundwater extraction by deep wells. Metro Manila subsiding at a rate of 2 to 6 centimeters a year, and that is 0.06 to 1.8 meters in a third-year period.
Thank you, Mr. Severino, for giving us that brief discussion on the current situation of the Philippine geographical hazard, climate, and weather. We have with us now Miss Edina Enfestan, who will share with us her general observation on the psychology of the Filipinos in relation to the past calamities that we have been through. Miss Edina?
Over the past few years, we have observed subtle but steady changes in the psychology of the typical Filipino. More and more, Filipinos are understanding and embracing the concept of causality. Upang mas maunawaan ng nakararami, ang causality ay nangangahulugan na ang bawat bagay, kaganapan o pangyayari ay may kadahilanan o pinagmumulan. Before, many of us would undergo unpleasant experience and merely try to survive it. Once we are able to survive and forget major problems, it is only a matter of time before problems recur and the cycle perpetuates. Sa kasalukuyan, ang mga Pilipino ay mas proactive sa kanilang pag-iisip at paggalaw. People preempt problems in advance and proactively seek to capitalize on opportunities. This phenomenon is seen not just in the country's government and business leaders, but in all levels of society, including the middle income, the masses, students, and even religious groups.
Could you give us an idea of how much has changed?
I would say that today, most of the Filipinos try to solve their problems scientifically. 10 years ago, I would say only a few understood cause and effect. Isa pang magandang bagay ay ang patuloy na pagpapahalaga ng lipunan sa panalangin at pananalig sa Diyos. Datapwat, may mga pagbabago na sa paraan ng ating panalangin at sa mga bagay na ating pinagdarasal.
Dati pag bumabaha, iniisip ko, bahala na. Pero sa daming beses na nawalan kami ng tirahan o gamit, napaisip kami ni Mrs. ko kung bakit gano'n na lang palagi. So, nag-isip kami ng paraan para hindi na mawalan.
Naku, sa daming beses na tayong binaha, kung iiyak-iyak ka pa, kung nawalan ka, wala nang maaawa sa'yo. Maliban lang kung matanda ka na at wala ka ng katuwang sa buhay. Kahit middle class lang kami, mag-volunteer kami sa barangay namin, yung mga tinamaan, sila na naman uli. Pero ang iba naman ay hindi naapektuhan. Bakit ba ganun?
Sa simbahan naman, pagkatapos ng Bagyong Bruno, napansin ko, marami sa dasal ay para sa pagpasalamat at para sa kaligtasan ng iba. Parang may nagbago sa kanila.
Dito kasi merong matataas na lugar na ang tao nakakapunta para sa mataas. At para maiwasan nila yung naandun sa mababang lugar, maiwas na baka madala ng mga baha, katulad na yun sa mga tao. Meron ang pinaka-evacuate nila na pinupuntahan, yung matataas namin lugar dito. At kung talagang hindi makakayanin, sinasabi ko na magpunta na rito sa barangay at dito na magsama-sama. At ito namang barangay hall ay mataas na lugar to. At kung kakapusin, meron pa kaming school dyan na pwedeng puntahan ng tao.
Alam mo ba, nung Typhoon Bruno, ang aming car park, punong-puno yun. Tama din na di na pinilit ng mga customers na umuwi sa kanila. Total, ginawa naman naming flat rate ang parking. So, okay na din kaysa masiraan o tumirik ang mga sasakyan sa daan. Yung iba nga, may dala pang snack sa kotse.
With a change in the thinking among Filipinos, we took a survey and found the following to be the top 10 measures taken to avoid flood losses during Typhoon Bruno. Here are the top 10 recommendations to help you avoid damage during flood and rain.
1. News is always available whether through the internet, TV, or radio. Monitor the weather forecast for chance of isolated thunderstorms, low-pressure areas, typhoons, and rainfall forecasts. Doing so will give you the lead time that you need in preparing your course of action. 2. Protect your vehicle. Familiarize yourself with the routes that you often take so that you would be able to anticipate flooding in those areas. Once you see that there's heavy downpour, Don't risk ruining your vehicle and just stay put and do not brave the storm and heavy rain. If you're already out driving in heavy rain and suddenly you get stuck in floodwater, immediately stop and remove the battery terminals. This will prevent an electric shock which could damage the expensive electronic parts of your car. Stay dry. Most vehicles nowadays are designed to have their integrated circuitry and modules located under the carpet and alongside the front, interior, and engine bay. Try your best to keep these areas dry and free from inundation. It will make all the difference. Immediately park your vehicle to higher grounds if you hear that a storm or heavy rain is coming. Mall and offices are always a good venue. It's better to pay for a parking ticket than to purchase a new car. Don't be lazy and pack emergency essentials. Prepare an emergency bag and keep it in the back seat of the vehicle so you would easily be able to reach it. Always keep a toolbox. Bring the basics, number 10 and number 12 open wrench to be able to remove battery terminals. A series cable in case you need to jumpstart your car. Pliers and long nose to tighten or loosen screws. These tools will help you a lot during emergencies. Get a floody car bag for your car. It will help protect and save it from nasty flood water. Floody car bag works like a zipper bag for your car to protect it from the flood. Park it, then bag it. Call the hotline at 845-1111 to inquire. Save all important hotline numbers and download mobile apps for you to get quick updates. Being informed will save you from a lot of troubles. SLEX 584-4389. NLEX 580-8910. MMDA 136-882-0925 for flood control. Your favorite radio station. Barangay Captains or Tanod. Rescue. Tow truck. Or roadside assistance. If you are living in flood-prone areas and you know that there's a need to evacuate, do it immediately. Do not wait until it's too late for you, or you might just regret it. Buy yourself some time and keep yourself and your family safe. Follow these kind reminders to keep you more at ease when you vacate. It is advisable to hang flat-screen televisions on the wall and mount home theater sets above or beside it. If you have experienced flooding inside the house, place it 1 to 2 feet higher from the highest point where the flood waters have reached. If you have the budget, get your house renovated and adjust the floor level higher. If, however, you're building a new home and you know that flood exposure in your area is moderate to high, be cautious and have it already elevated to avoid water getting inside. Keep battery-operated radios, emergency lights, and emergency kits so that you will always be ready. If your car got flooded and you're a Standard Insurance motor car insurance customer, call our towing hotline to help you get your car out. Be active in your community and report flooding and clogging problems to your local barangay. Ask your barangay captain to convene community meetings and discuss precautions in the event of a typhoon. While your material possessions are important, you and your family are even more so. Do not risk your lives in attempting to save your properties. Stay calm and be alert. Panicking never helped anyone, and it may even cost you your life. Think clearly in times of emergency so as not to cause more problems. Get out of the distressed situation safely. While it's good that you are prepared now, you also need to think ahead and get yourself insured. It's always better to be sure and safe. Get the right coverage against catastrophes with Standard Insurance. Call 845-1111.
Weather changes, typhoons, and floods should not take us by surprise anymore. You need to be wiser in your decisions and keener in taking precautionary measures. You may have been a victim before, so do not let it happen again. Learn from your experiences. Give yourself peace of mind. Be proactive and always remember to be safe. Stay away from emergencies.